Tonight, final approach. Hurricane Lee on track to swipe parts of New England with gusty winds, power outages, and high surf as the storm's effects are already being felt. Plus, what if Canada, as residents in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia are preparing for tropical storm force winds as soon as tomorrow? We time it out. And impacts will extend well outside Lee's forecasted path as the massive storm's hurricane force winds will be felt 100 miles from the center and tropical storm winds extending outwards of 300 miles. Hurricane watches and tropical storm warnings are now up, the latest advisory just in. And Bermuda, after brushing with Lee, now facing a potential major hurricane by midweek as Tropical Depression 15 forms. We have late reporting. iWeather First starts right now. From iWeather First, this is a tropical update. All right, here's the latest on the tropics. We're looking at Hurricane Lee and newly formed Tropical Depression 15. We can see here in the visible, there's Tropical Depression 15, just a bunch of cluster of thunderstorms, but that's going to change in the next couple of days. We'll talk about that in just a second. Let's go ahead and get on into Hurricane Lee. Look at the cloud base on this as it's extending out hundreds of miles from the system here. So just because it's a weaker storm doesn't mean that a lot of people are going to be affected by this. There's that open eye right there as Lee makes its approach over to the northeast. These are the latest alerts going on right now. There's a hurricane watch in effect for New Brunswick from the U.S.-Canada border and also Nova Scotia with this storm. We also have a tropical storm warning in effect for Westport, Massachusetts, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, New Brunswick from the U.S.-Canada border to Fort Lawrence. So a lot of people are under these advisories right now. And check out how wide this wind field is. That darker orange color you see there, that's the hurricane force winds with winds of 74 miles per hour or greater. And that lighter orange color you see around it, that's the tropical storm force winds extending. So look how far that is from the center. And parts of Massachusetts are already feeling the effects of those tropical storm force winds as we're getting closer into the night. So these are the impacts we can expect. Here's the storm surge potential. We're looking at 1 to 3 feet of storm surge possible for the Boston area, also Long Island, all the way up to the border of U.S. and Canada. You can see there Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard as well. With rainfall, expecting 2 to 4 inches. We might actually see more than that. I'm going to say about 4 to 6 inches too here on this forecast model. And with all that rain means there's going to be the risk of flash flooding out there too. And here's the latest on Hurricane Lee, a Category 1 hurricane, winds of 80 miles per hour moving north at a really fast speed, 20 miles per hour. Pressure went up a little bit. So as it's weakening, the storm's actually expanding outwards here. And that's why you can see that a lot of people are going to be affected from this system. Has it making landfall at about tomorrow afternoon, maybe early evening as a tropical storm, and then moving up through Canada, through New Brunswick and Nova Scotia before exiting out over the next couple of days here. Here's the latest arrival times. We're expecting those conditions to go downhill later tonight into tomorrow morning for areas of Maine, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia here while they start getting those tropical storm force winds. Here is Tropical Depression 15, newly formed. We can see on the close-up, it doesn't look like much. However, over the next couple of days, it's definitely going to make a significant increase in its potential here. The latest right now on it has winds of 35 miles per hour moving northwest at 13, expected to become a tropical storm by tomorrow, and then a Category 1 hurricane with winds of 80 miles an hour by Monday morning, and then strengthening into a major Category 3 hurricane with winds of 115 miles per hour Wednesday morning. And we can see that Bermuda looks like Bermuda may be in its path. However, still too far out to tell. However, that does not look good, being that Bermuda just had a brush with Hurricane Lee. Now expected to get a potential brush or maybe an impact here. We're not sure yet. Still a couple of days out before we figure that out. So that is the latest here from the tropics. I'm meteorologist Richie Pergolesi. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like, subscribe, comment, and ring the bell to be notified of new updates.